This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, charities and social services are surveyed as they feel the pinch of a reduction in funding. We take a look at what's on offer for Psychology Week, where the focus is on living life well. And Southland turns on some adverse weather conditions for the first day of the Burt Munro Challenge. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Dupree. Cuts to Ministry of Social Development funding have prompted a local organisation to conduct its own survey in the not-for-profit sector. Connect South is surveying Dunedin's 1,000 charities and social sector organisations to ask about their funding.
A nationwide survey of 280 community organisations found 42% were worried about their future financial viability, while others were facing closure. It's the impetus behind Connect South's regional survey. Alan Shanks says the group wanted to gain an accurate perspective of just how bad things were locally.
Some of the organisations have missed out on renewal of their contracts through MSD, and also some have actually picked up contracts. So what you get is you get some who have obviously now going to have to reevaluate their financial and their sustainability, really, because they've lost this particular amount of funding.
He says the government is expecting community organisations receiving funding to show outcomes more clearly.
The warning was on the horizon probably 5 years ago that they wanted to see some more sort of stronger accountability, and so it's not as if this has just been thrown on the sector just overnight.
The Dunedin Budget Advisory Service and organisations in rural areas like Oamaru, the West Coast and Balclutha have all had a reduction in funding. A situation which Shanks says will find many clients of such services displaced.
People who are looking for budget advice, one area is mental health, and if there's not an infrastructure of good support from organisations, people in that sort of area can become quite vulnerable.
He hopes Connect South can feed important information back to the government regarding where stress is happening in the sector. More than 500 community organisations throughout Otago have been approached by the surveyors for their responses, with final submissions due at the end of November. I'm Rosella Bone for The South Today.
The Kaikoura earthquake may see Compass flying food to hospitals in the Southern District Health Board area following the closure of State Highway 1. But the SDHB is being asked to reopen Dunedin Hospital's kitchen to avert the possibility that meals might have to be flown in. Grey Power Otago President Joe Miller says there's a perfectly good kitchen in Dunedin and it should be reopened as soon as possible. SDHB Commissioner Kathy Grant says there is a bigger picture to consider than simply this DHB. The New Zealand Psychological Society is holding its annual Psychology Week with a focus on positive well-being. There have been several events in the Southern District, and a senior lecturer at Otago University says this year's theme is about living life well.
Mental health could be as simple as being your own superhero. However, for others, a canine companion can literally be a lifesaver. For many people, maintaining a good state of mental health can be an issue. Dr. Damien Scarf of Otago University says Psychology Week is about helping researchers and clinicians broaden their minds.
Well, I think it's the shift, and so the idea is to think about the things that keep you healthy rather than being on the other side, so having bad mental health and then having to recover. And so the idea, I think, of Psychology Week, which is really good, is trying to let people know the things that are really important to keep in their life. So that can be something like diet, it could be groups, it could be how you deal with emotions, and things like mindfulness, which is a good one, which is something new, the idea that trying to disconnect, I guess, from the rush of daily life.
He says the main theme of New Zealand Psychology Week is living life well, putting things in place to maintain a positive frame of mind.
And I think it also changes it, because I think you become a lot more positive when you feel good. You know, your ability to kind of take things on is obviously much better. Whereas when you're at the bottom of the cliff and you have all these things you have to do, obviously they seem much more kind of big and difficult.
Scarf's main research area is how feeling like part of a group can help people feel better than they would if they didn't.
So my message is basically that groups are really important for our health, and so that groups aren't just kind of things outside of us, that groups are really part of us. So when you think about yourself, when you think about your meaning in life, a lot of the meaning that we get, and that's kind of one of the big questions that people sometimes come, what is life, what am I here for? A lot of that comes from thinking about your family, or your curiosity in your work, so the things that you do, and the groups that we're involved with.
He says groups provide us with support and feeling like we belong, which he says typically gives us better mental health. The New Zealand Psychological Society says the annual Psychology Week aims to increase public awareness of how psychology can help people, their families and communities to increase their psychological well-being. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
For the 5th year running, Central Dunedin has complied with air quality standards. Councillor Maggie Lawton of the Otago Regional Council says contributions by large industrial emitters helped achieve the result. A summary of 2016 air quality results noted in Dunedin, air particulate levels have dropped significantly in the past 5 years. There were no breaches of the National Environmental Standard for Air Quality in Dunedin this year, a pattern that goes back to 2011. Adrenaline and rain swept the bottom of the country today. It's the first day of the 2016 Burt Munro Challenge, which started off with the Bluff Hill climb. And although the conditions weren't great, crowds still came out in force to support the riders.
The rainy and cold conditions can't dampen down the spirit of the event. Hi, I'm Ruby Spink at the top of the Bluff Hill, at the first event of the Burt Munro Challenge. And what an event! Streets were blocked off and hundreds of spectators came to see the motorcyclists race up the Bluff Hill. The average speed of the race was a little slower today than in previous years due to the weather, but the contestants didn't seem to mind too much.
Far out, it's only today it's 50 seconds, it's probably generally around 40 seconds, but it's a very exciting 50 seconds in the wet, far out, it's a bumpy little hill, and it's in the rain, it's very slippery, but it's exciting, that's why we're all here having a go at it, I don't think it's about winning it so much, it's about, it's exciting bit of riding.
He travelled down from Whakatane to take part. He says it's the atmosphere around the event that keeps bringing him back.
The event is, just so welcoming, and there's things here that don't happen anywhere else, which is fantastic, and may it continue.
The winding landscapes and the wetness on the track only caused minor disruptions on the day. Organisers say a handful of people came off their bikes at one particular turn, but no one was seriously injured, just their pride. Mr. Rees says the challenge overall is great, but the uniqueness of the hill climb is something special.
I like all of them, I like riding a motorbike, so, they're all cool if you're getting on your motorbike and going for a ride, so yeah, I really enjoyed this last year. I really did enjoy the hill climb because it's something different we don't normally get to do, and it would be really good too if it was dry today, but it is what it is.
And this is just the first course. Next up is the Winton Supercross Champs, and we're all hoping the weather turns around for that. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, we'll find out what's concerning one of the guardians of Albert Town's falcons. And we take a look at the cookbook that's a little black book phone book.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
We're a 25 Moreau Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. We're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
My Els and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees, local beaches on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Southern Television takes pride in providing a wide range of programming. If you have concerns about our programming or feel that standards have been breached, please write to the address on screen within 20 working days of airing. Visit Broadcast Standards Authority website for more information on the complaints process.
Yes, Sonny Chin.
Neck, shoulder, back, sciatica, pain specialists. Innovative tools specifically designed to contour your grooves of depletion and excess muscle buildup.
Sonny Chin, it works.
Travelling this weekend? Think slow.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Put your seatbelts on for this one and rev it up. Thursday night is Motorsport Night. Proudly brought to you by multi-award-winning Garrador.
Welcome back. One of the guardians of the pair of falcons nesting in the Albert Town camping ground near Wanaka is worried their chicks will be eaten by cats this summer. Mary Chaffee wants to raise about $2,000 so a camera can be put close to the nest, allowing pictures to be live streamed. But as Mark Price explains, her immediate concern is the potential threat from campers' domestic cats.
It takes patience and a good lens to get more than a wobbly shot like this of the fast-moving falcon pair. Hi, I'm Mark Price at the Albert Town camping ground where the male falcon has taken a couple of swoops over our heads. Just a warning and no harm done. Falcon guardian Mary Chaffee is far less concerned about swooping falcons than she is about prowling cats. While the log where the two falcons have re-established their nest this year is protected by a fence from dogs and campers are advised to keep their distance with a ring of signs, there's no way of ensuring cats will not get into the nest and harm the chicks once they're born.
If the hatching is successful, these falcon chicks will be exceptionally vulnerable to predators, as per usual, and even more so because there are cats, domestic cats living just a few metres away.
Ms Chaffee believes wild cats are likely to keep their distance because of all the campers, so it's domestic cats kept by campers that are the major concern. She says the camping ground managers have done their bit to protect the falcons, and she believes it's now up to campers to ensure their cats do not harm the falcon chicks.
My personal opinion is that unless the cats are contained and leash walked during the day and contained at night, then it is highly likely that if chicks are hatched here, that they will fall prey to the cats.
Ms Chaffee and the camping ground managers are meeting tonight, Thursday, to discuss what more can be done. I'm Mark Price for the South Today.
A self-published little black book showcasing Dunedin is about to hit the shelves. The Dunedin Phone Book is a collaboration between an art gallery owner and a well-known foodie, and it aims to share recipes and images of the city through the lens of an iPhone.
Looking over a freshly published first batch of books is Artist Room Gallery director Michelle Chalkin-Sinclair and travelling chef Judith Cullen. Together they've self-published the Dunedin Phone Book, a nod to the fact all of the images were taken on an iPhone.
Over probably the last year and a half, I have been posting a lot of Dunedin shots on social media sites and selling them via the gallery. And so, yeah, we just got together and thought this would make a nice collaboration for the book.
There were challenges in self-publishing, but they were overcome by finding the right people and the right materials. The project took the woman 6 months to complete, and they say it will appeal to anyone with a connection to Dunedin.
So whether you went to university here, whether you played sport here, whether you came here for a weekend or a holiday or have relations here, I mean, we've literally been contacted from 4 corners of the world for people who've had some small connection with Dunedin or spent time here or like the photographs.
As well as city images, there's also reproductions of well-known artists' work, and of course the 8 delicious recipes.
Really, because I go to the market every Saturday, I've chosen things that I can buy at the market all the time, except one recipe, which is for olives and grapes baked together, because I think everyone needs to have that recipe.
In between cooking classes, Cullen travels to France, Turkey and Italy, and it was in Venice where she came across a similar book that sparked the inspiration for the Dunedin phone book.
We think this book could sit in any city, in any town, and it helps promote your own city, and that's what it's about. We live in a really, really delightful small town. And I think that we have so much character here, and we're delighted to be able to show it off in our book.
The first run of 4,000 copies launches in the second week of December, just in time to share with family and friends. Dee Karen, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, a record number of eggs for the albatross colony, but will they all survive? And we'll find out what's on the cards weather-wise for tomorrow.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed. And be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Travelling this weekend? Think slow.
My Els and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees. Local beaches on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Put your seatbelts on for this one and rev it up. Thursday night is Motorsport Night. Proudly brought to you by multi-award winning Garrador.
Welcome back. Increasing the population of royal albatross at their home on Otago Peninsula is a slow process. A potential record number of fertile eggs are being monitored at the colony, but even if they all hatch, fledge and survive, it could be a decade before a breeding pair will be matched.
These eggs are not only being counted before they hatch, but they're being checked for fertility. Out at the albatross colony on Tairoa Head, 37 eggs have been laid in 35 nests. 27 of those chicks so far are fertile, even one by a female-female pairing.
But with that particular female-female pair, for the last 3 breeding seasons, one of their 2 eggs that the females have laid have been fertilised, so they've managed to raise chicks of their own.
If all of the 27 chicks survive over the next 10 months, it will be on par with a record set in 2003.
We tend to end up around that sort of mid-20s in the number of chicks that we fledge each season, from that sort of mid-30s numbers of eggs that are laid. So that's a really high breeding success for any species.
And part of that is due to the management that goes on at the colony, from the egg-laying stage right through until the chicks fledge. But it will still take time to see a difference.
If we do sort of strike that sort of mid-20s number of the chicks that are fledging in September 2017, what that'll mean for the population will be basically an increase of maybe 1 or 2 pairs in about 10 years after that.
The chicks are likely to start hatching in mid-January, with the feeding and take-off attempts all live stream on the Royal Cam. Dee Karen, The South Today.
Poor weather continues to cloud the Plunket Shield match between Otago and Wellington at the University Oval. There was no play possible today, and there was just 9.2 overs of play yesterday. Wellington is 119 for 3 in reply to Otago's total of 208. But with only a day left in the match, the chances of the game producing any other result than a draw are remote. Now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Connect South counts the cost as Ministry of Social Development funding cuts hit some of the South's most vulnerable residents. National Psychology Week sees local clinicians focusing on positive psychology. One researcher says belonging to groups helps in people's mental health. And Invercargill's Burt Munro Challenge got off to a wet start today, with riders battling slippery conditions and driving rain.
This
So
weather
now to find
update
out what's going to be on inside tomorrow's Otago Daily Times, and we're joined by Barry Stewart. Good evening.
Hello Rebecca, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. Central Otago District Council has turned up the heat on Delta over unsafe poles. So they're calling for a report on all the endangered poles, and they want to get that sorted. Wind farm issue rises again amid accusations of dividing the Warrington Blueskin Bay community. The proposal now is to put up 1 large pole as opposed to 3. So they're having another crack at that, so it's got the community stirred up as well. Another issue around our area is parking at the airport. Have you struck those problems or seen those cars parked alongside of the road?
Yes.
Well, on Monday, I believe, a car was tipped into a ditch, which was parked alongside the road, got tipped into the ditch. So, of course, the woman who owned that car was very upset about that. So it's obviously an issue out there that people are reacting to. So we've looked into that. Cruise ship due at the weekend has been cancelled, and I can't tell you why, but you will find out later in the paper.
I reckon it's weather related.
Do you think?
I think so.
The forecast actually for Friday is pretty good. I don't know about Saturday.
Yeah,
which
a tad,
potentially is washing
breezy.
day.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll talk about
peak
that.
washing day.
We'll talk about that later. Fast bowler Trent Boult is out of the second test against Pakistan starting tomorrow. We have a big feature in the sports lift out about dream debuts in cricket, so we look back on all those performers who have got off the mark in spectacular fashion.
That's tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
It's time now for tomorrow's weather.
This weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Manuka Honey.
Here is today's Southern View. It's taken looking up Esk Street in Invercargill. To the situation, and some strong weather and severe weather systems are expected over the South Island in the next few days, with an upper level jet stream and low level depressions set to bring a stormy period. Doesn't look too flash on that map. First up, the airflow will tend to northwesterly tomorrow and become strong ahead of a deep depression in the Tasman Sea. What does it all mean? To the southern towns, strong nor'westers with showers for Balclutha, the Catlin Score and Lumsden, highs of around 15 or 16 degrees. For Alexandra, Queenstown and Wanaka, it means strong nor'westers with showers, all on 17 tomorrow. Strong nor'westers in Tiana with rain there, high of 14. And for Oamaru, it means gusty northerlies with some high cloud. Timaru's in for that same story as well. Pleasant temperatures though, with 24 and 25 respectively. Strong nor'westers for Omarama with showers, 17 degrees, and strong nor'westers and showers in Twizel with a high of 25. And Dunedin tonight, cloudy and a little bit of drizzle, but it will clear. Nor'easters will ease, going for a low of 7. Tomorrow, fine at first, but high cloud will increase during the day. Northerly winds will become strong and gusty. They'll tend to northwesterly from evening with a high of 19. And on Saturday, strong and gusty west to southwest winds easing, otherwise mostly fine. A period of showers though is likely during the evening, 15 degrees. And Invercargill tonight becoming fine with northerly winds and a low of 9. Tomorrow mostly cloudy with a few showers at times. Strong gusty northerlies tending northwesterly later on. They could be near gale force at night, a high of 16. And on Saturday mostly cloudy with frequent showers, gusty west to southwest winds, and those could be near gale force at times as well, a high of 14. Those kinds of winds will definitely keep a cruise ship away. But you'll have to read the ODT tomorrow for the full story. That is the news from the South today for Thursday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.